Welcome to another edition of the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. In this topic, we're going to talk about primary insurance amount, your PIA, when it comes to your Social Security benefits. Now, if you haven't watched my last video on the average index monthly earnings, the AIME, I highly suggest you start there because everything revolves around the AIME and then it flows to the PIA. So if you watch that video, you're in the right place. If you haven't watched that video, go back and then come on back. We'll be here when you come back. So the PIA is the next acronym that is very, very important to understand as you're looking at your own Social Security benefits. That's your primary insurance amount. It's the amount that you are eligible to receive at your full retirement age. Your FRA, another acronym. So you got the three things: AIME, PIA, FRA. Tattoo those in your brain. AIME, PIA, FRA. One more time. AIME, say it with me. PIA, FRA. I hear you out there loud and clear. Good job, YouTube listeners. That's fantastic. So the PIA is how much you get when you retire at your full retirement age according to Social Security. So let's go ahead and get my mug out of the way there. And I'll post all these links into the show notes down there. So basically, if you were born before 1954 or 1954 and before, if you're born in 1942 and stuff, you're already taking Social Security, so this really isn't applicable to you anymore. But if you were born 1954, 1953, basically 1954 and before, your full retirement age or normal retirement age, I call it the full retirement age, is 66. All right. That means at 66, you can submit your pay stub to Social Security and request your benefits and get 100% of your PIA. So remember that. So if you were born in 1954 and it's 2018 now, you're only 64 years old, which means that if you want to get your full benefit, you got to wait another 2 years until 2020 in which to file for your Social Security benefits. Now, you can file earlier than that, and I'll talk about that here in a second, but it will reduce your payment. And you can file later than that, and it will increase your payment. But I just got to be clear that if you were born in 1954 or before, your full retirement age is 66. Now, I was born in 1970, so my full retirement age is 67. So if I want my max amount of benefits, I got to wait until 67 plus 1970. I got to wait till 2037, another 19 years before I can get my full amount of benefits, my 100% of my full retirement age. My intuition tells me that might change. We'll see. I mean, basically, once you hit the 50-year-old corridor, it's going to be awful hard for the folks in Washington to adjust for Social Security changes unless something dire comes. I don't know. I would say probably if you're born in 1980 or so, you're more likely to see this number change and more so than my cohort there. But, who knows? Either way, though, 1954 and before, you're 66, your full retirement age. After 1954, it increases until you're hit 1960, and then it's 67 years old. You got to remember that number. So we'll just say someone born 1952, which would make his full retirement age this year, and he'll be 66. And so we can talk about the numbers and how that'll affect, maybe even how it'll affect you. So let's go to the first thing, what the Social Security Administration website says, what the PIA is. Again, the links will be below. Definition of primary insurance amount. The PIA is the benefit before rounding down to the next lower dollar a person would receive if he or she elects to begin receiving benefits at normal retirement age. At this benefit, the benefit is neither reduced nor increased for delayed retirement. And again, we'll talk about that here in just a second. The PIA is a sum of the three separate percentages of portions of the average index monthly earnings. Remember, we talked about that in last video. The portions depend on the year in which the worker attains age 66. You can read all that. And again, the AIME is based on right here. These are the bands of AIME. Let me go AIME band rates. Actually, it's $8.95. I had $8.97, so part of me being $2 off. Either way, the first $895, you're going to get 90 cents on the dollar. The next $4,500 over that, you'll get 32 cents on the dollar. And then the next amount of above 53.97, you're going to get 15 cents on the dollar. That's what they're talking about in terms of the 3 band rates. All right, so they say the PIA is the sum of the 3 separate percentage of portions of the AIME. And then we talk about the bend points. I keep calling them the bend points. All right, so we talked about the formula last time. I just kind of showed you a scenario of that. So let's talk about an example here of direct from the Social Security website. I'm going to take this guy here who had indexed earnings over the course of his life. Remember, so what we do is we take all these indexed earnings, the top 35 years of their inflation-adjusted earnings that the worker made, add them up. We get this number here, 1.7 million, divide that number by 420, and 420 is simply the 35 years, the highest 35 years, times 12, and that gives us an average index monthly earnings of $44,059 a month. So how will that figure out into this guy's PIA? So let's go over here. And so we got 4,059 is his AIME. All right. We take the first 897, it's actually 895, but just bear with me. It's the same. It's going to come out the same. Times that by 0.9, and he's going to get $800, $807 per the first 897 back. So he's going to get $807 towards his PIA on his first $897 he made as working. The next 3162, he's going to get 32 cents on dollar. So his total AIME, his total PIAs, you take the 807 plus the 1011, which is simply 32% of that amount there, add them together, and his total PIA is 1819. And so just remember, PIA is the amount you'll receive at full retirement age. Okay, so PIA is the amount he's going to get at full retirement age, $1,819. So we know his full retirement age is 66. So let's just go ahead and plug that in there. And we'll just say equals that right there. All right, so we know he's going to have 1819.14 at his full retirement age of 66. But what if he wanted to take it earlier? Well, let's take a look at what Social Security says. It's pretty interesting, actually. Claiming Social Security retirement benefits. Let's see if I can't make this bigger. I don't know how to do it off the cuff here. I'm not sure. That's too bad. All right, so I'll figure that out next time. But anyway, claiming Social Security retirement benefits before the full retirement age results in permanently lower benefits. Therefore, delaying claiming is often considered the best decision economically. All right. So what they're going to say here in the Social Security, lots of different things here, is that here's a guy at full retirement age of 66. If he claims at 62, he's going to have a 25% reduction in his benefit. If he claims at 65, it'll be that times, so you can go over. So basically, you just take these numbers here and times them up, and that's the amount he loses from claiming early. So if you claim at 62, you will lose a quarter of your primary insurance amount, which means you'll lose a quarter of your benefit. Now, the interesting thing, I saw this, let me move myself. Among Social Security retired worker beneficiaries, basically all of us, nearly half claim their benefits as early as possible. And almost all of them claim at some point before reaching full retirement age. I thought that was interesting. But because Americans are living longer but retiring early, often with a lack of personal retirement savings, the timing of the benefit claiming can be crucial to financial well-being. I could not agree with that more. Let me just reiterate that. Among beneficiaries, nearly half claim their benefits as early as possible, and almost all of them claim at some point before their full retirement age. Because Americans are living longer but retiring early, and often with a lack of personal retirement savings, the timing of benefit claiming can be crucial to financial well-being in retirement. Because claiming benefits before FRA results in a permanently reduced benefits Many researchers argue that delaying claiming is often the best decision economically. I agree in the general statement that you want to wait till later to get more money from your Social Security, but generally speaking is not specific to you. What's the benefit for you? Well, that would be something you have to discuss with a qualified, certified financial planner like old Josh here, or someone else. I don't care. At the end of the day, though, if you're claiming early, you might come back and haunt you in the long run. And we're going to talk all about this for strategies later on. But let's just go over this guy and say he claimed early. So now we know if he claims at full retirement age, he'll get $18,19 a year every year for the rest of his life. And this is adjusted for inflation. What if he claimed early, though? We know he's going to get this times that times 0.75 because he's going to lose 25% of the Social Security amount, and he's only going to get $13.64. Now, I should just stop there because of basically they say everybody claims between these 2 years here. Everybody. But there are some people who delay, and hopefully more and more people will consider delaying. Even if you don't do it, hopefully you consider it. And so let's see what the good folks at Social Security Administration talk about. To incentivize people, right there. Okay, good. If an individual waits until after reaching his or her FRA, the monthly benefit increases with delayed retirement credits can be as much as 8% a year. 8% a year. So if the same person described in our example waited 4 years, my friends, 4 years, their benefit would be increased by 32%. 32%. So let's go back to our trusty table here and get that. That times 1.32. And so this, if this guy waits till he's 70, he's going to get $2,400 a month for the rest of his life, adjusted for inflation. That's the difference on the primary insurance amount. Your full retirement age, early retiring, or filing. You don't have to retire, just early filing and late filing. We're talking a pretty significant difference there. So the difference between these two guys, you take 2401 minus 1364, divide by 1364. We're talking a 70% increase, 76% increase from earliest filing opportunity. So if this guy waits from this time, which most people take the benefit from, until not just full retirement age, but the max he can get for his delayed earnings credits, or delayed retirement credits is what they just talked about, Social Security, synonymous. He'll get a 76% increase in his income guaranteed by the feds and Social Security Administration, adjusted for inflation for the rest of his life. That's the incentive that these folks talk about in this article, incentivizing delayed retirement credit. That's pretty good. Now, the question, of course, everyone asks is, well, that's great, Josh, but how do I make up this money from 62 years old to 70 if I am retired and no longer working? And that's for other conversations we'll talk about here on YouTube. But that is the primary insurance amount. How it works in a nutshell is derived off your AIME, adjusted average index monthly earnings. They have the 3 Ben rates, which gives you your amount of your PIA. You put your PIA for your full retirement age for someone who retired, is born 1954 and before. Their full retirement age is 66. If you take it earlier than 66, you'll lose some money for the rest of your life. If you take it after 66, up until the age of 70, you'll gain some money for the rest of your life. If you take it at 66, you'll get your 100% full benefit. I hope this helps to discuss a PIA. So remember, AIME, PIA, and FRA. If you know those three things, I guarantee you're ahead of probably 75 to 80% of financial advisors out there, guaranteed. If you know those 3 things, you're in a pretty good place. So tattoo them on your forehead if you need to, because you've got to understand how that affects your benefit, because no one cares about your money as much as you do, folks. It's just all there is to it. So on my blog, I got lots of articles on this stuff, and certainly on YouTube, we're going to do lots of videos on Social Security planning as well. As I talked about a couple of videos ago, some people more inclined for visual learning, some people more inclined to read. So I do both. I do blog posts on this and I do videos as well. In the blog posts, you can get a little bit more in depth if that's your learning style. So definitely go to the blog as well. But don't forget to subscribe. Thumbs up always help. Notes or comments below, please. And then don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified on more content that we do. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks.